We Have Concerns is only made possible because of generous donations from our patrons. If you want to be one of those, if you want to help make the show possible and also get extra stuff like bonus episodes, monthly hangouts, other cool stuff, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Talk about Doctor Strange for an hour, and I haven't even seen it yet, but we're not going to do that. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
We got ourselves a story sent in by Andrew Tomlinson.
Andrew Tomlinson, sending in another story.
That's right.
Andrew Tomlinson, I'm going to say you're 3 away from a nickname.
He's close.
He's close.
He was sent to We Have Concerns show at gmail.com.
Great way to send stories.
Great place.
Do that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Anthony.
Sure.
When someone yawns nearby, do you yawn also? Do you catch the yawn?
If I'm crazy tired.
Oh.
Yeah, if I'm crazy in love and crazy tired. If Beyonce yawns, no matter where she is in the world, I yawn too. And I think we all do.
Yeah.
Because we all love Queen Bee.
We do. So you have to be tired already in order to yawn. So it really has nothing to do with the fact that the person yawned. You were going to yawn anyway.
And even then, it only happens sometimes. I only catch the yawn about 30% of the time.
I'm a person that catches the yawn all the time. It's kind of annoying. In fact, my wife and I...
Is this another fucking story about how you're a good person and I'm not?
Well, I'm just saying people who don't catch yawns, probably psychopaths. According to this story,
go on.
According to a new study that was done at Baylor University in Texas, this was done only with college students. So the article points out, hey, maybe it's just weird college students. Mm-hmm. But what they did was they sat college students down in front of a screen and had them. By the way, college students are going to be tired anyway. So
and also sitting in front of a screen.
Yeah. So they sat in front of a
screen or a bong or a keg.
Yeah.
Or all three.
A screen bong keg.
If we could kickstart the screen bong keg,
we would make
You
millions.
Remember that cooler that had like an iPod dock?
They made like $8 million on that.
$8 million. Screen bong keg.
Screen bong keg. Come on.
God damn it.
We have the best ideas.
We have the best ideas.
Anyway,
kickstart this idea.
These kids were sitting in front of a screen that showed people making various facial things. And then some of them would yawn. In the cycle, one of the things would be a yawn. And they measured which students caught the yawn from the person on the screen. And then they had the students do a psychological test. And it turned out there was a link between the students that rated very highly on cold-heartedness and lack of empathy with the ones that did not catch the yawn.
Or maybe they weren't fucking tired. How big was this sample size?
135.
Yeah.
135 students in Texas.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty much proven that you are a psychopath, Anthony.
Well,
QED. I rest my case.
The transitive property. Look, I'm sure there is a little something to this. You think about the research into things like mirror neurons, the things that we have that kind of make us mirror other people and make us, by mirroring other people, we also understand other people.
Right.
Is the theory behind this, where like, oh, you make a frowny face and I make a frowny face and I understand that we're both mad or sad or whatever because of frowny face, right?
Yeah. You know who has a lot of mirror neurons? That Dana Carvey. That Rich Little. They get the mirror neurons in full effect. They're impressionists. They look at a face and then make that face.
You think so?
I think it probably has a lot of mirror.
Probably empathy.
That's
probably very empathetic.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That's a leap. Because they are doing it to make fun of those people.
That's a good point.
But I will say this, like, yeah, I think there is empathy centers in the brain are smaller, less active in people who have psychopathy. That's been proven. The yawn thing, I'm sure, has something to do with empathy. I am not going to confess to any murders or crimes at this time.
Okay, well, I me just yawn, and then we'll just see what happens.
Sure.
Here. Nothing.
Schlink.
Where you pulled out a knife?
No.
What? Well,
I mean, 135 people is not a huge sample size.
it's true.
And saying that there is some correlation in the answers is not the same. Because once again, they weren't saying that these kids were psychopaths.
Well, that's the weird
thing. They were
thing.
saying that they were a little more cold-hearted than the others. These are average kids that they grabbed and put in a room.
It said they were measuring psychopathic characteristics like selfishness, tendency to be manipulative, impulsivity, and the lack of empathy. Now, I want to know, these guys are just interested in yawning, but they literally have a test that they're giving to students about how much of a psychopath they are. Maybe we should be applying that in different ways. Maybe it's a little more important than just finding out if a fucking yawn is catching. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So what like
We found 135 kids. We found 20 of them are psychopaths. I think that's a little bit more important than whether or not the yawn is linked.
Well, and remember that psychopathy and sociopathy are not what they are shown as and depicted as in the media.
Right.
Just because you have psychopathy or you're a sociopath doesn't mean you are
Dexter.
You're not Dexter, you're not a murderer, killer, criminal.
Right.
But
you could be.
A lot of times these people know that the things that they are experiencing or the way that they react to things are different, and they do modify their reactions. They do have the ability. Like, I have ADHD, and I have the ability to know when I am just like bouncing around like a pinball.
Right.
And like, okay, I've got to recenter myself. It doesn't mean like if somebody's and it also doesn't mean that because I have ADD, if you jingle keys, I go running towards them and drop everything I'm doing.
Right. Depends on what those keys are.
It depends on what the keys are for.
Right.
If they sound like vault keys,
Right.
like I do go running.
And if you have like
because you should be taking better care of vault keys.
You should.
They're very rare, and they release amazing treasures. And if you're just like swinging them around, maybe you don't deserve them. Maybe I do. Maybe I deserve them more than you. Is that sociopathic to think that?
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm taking your keys though. But what I'm saying is like, this does not make people mass murderers.
Well, yeah, psychopathy. You could either be a mass murderer or you could be head of a Fortune 500 company. They both require equal amounts of
you could be president of the United States.
You could certainly run for president of the United States.
I think there have been quite a few sociopaths who have been president of the United States.
I honestly believe that there is more sociopathy in the world than we think. I think there are more people because I think there are more. It's a gradient scale, right? There's a range of it, and I think there are more people on that scale than we might think.
I think definitely a large number of people in leadership positions, particularly the ones that we consider to be leaders of great creative vision and motivation. You look at people like a Steve Jobs or an Elon Musk,
right,
or a Henry Ford,
certainly,
or a Thomas Edison.
Cold is a descriptor that would be appropriate for all of those people.
Yeah,
and
what I'm doing is important.
Right,
the way I'm doing it is important.
Yeah,
these people don't understand the importance of what I'm doing, and I don't necessarily see the stress that I'm putting them under because I don't feel that stress because this is my thing.
Right,
you know what I mean? That's part of it. And this is the thing is like, these tests aren't even saying that about these kids.
Right.
We don't know what sort of a spectrum these results were on. It's just like these kids were more cold-hearted on average. Right. What does that mean?
But having said that, if you yawn and your friend doesn't, they're probably going to murder you in your sleep.
Call the police.
Definitely call the police. They're going to murder you in your sleep.
Call a van to have them taken away.
And the sad news is you're tired, so you're likely to be sleeping sooner.
Yeah.
And they're definitely going to murder you when you sleep.
They are definitely going to.
You've given them a sign that you are about to go to sleep, and their murder impulse is triggered as soon as you go to sleep. So you should really call the police.
You see a tortoise on the side of the road.
Yes.
And you flip it on its back. There's a test that you give to these kids.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, this is one of those stories where I'm like, screw
you. Don't buy it?
Screw you, headline. Screw you the way this is being reported.
You just think because the sample size is really low? Do you think that there is
The sample size is being really low, and the results are being reported in a very specific way.
Well, let me move back then. Let's step back a couple of steps and ask you this question. Do you believe...
I'm not going to confess to any crimes or murders.
Okay, well, what if I come at it sideways and say, like, murders have happened and you've been nearby? Is there any correlation there?
Hey, man, you know who's around a lot of murders when they happen? Like in Sherlock Holmes.
Angela Lansbury?
Angela Lansbury. Name a great detective.
Angela Lansbury.
We just sense, we don't know why we find ourselves in these situations, but it's something about our keen detective minds, our subconsciouses, that put us into these situations where a crime is about to happen. We just know where we're needed,
You're basically putting yourself on an Angela Lansbury tier. You're
at least a Selleck. I'm at least a Selleck.
You're definitely a Selleck.
I'm at least a Selleck.
With that facial hair, you're definitely a Selleck.
And I wouldn't say that I'm a Cumberbatch, but I could be on the level of a Downey Jr.
Well, that's not a very high level.
No. I just mean in terms of drug use and playing instruments incorrectly and hiding behind really tough friends.
All right, so let me honestly step back. Let me step back and ask you this question. Do you believe that you can catch a yawn? Do you believe that...
I thought you were going to say a killer, and my answer was going to be yes.
Can you catch a killer?
Do you believe that I can catch a killer?
Do you think that you can catch a killer?
Hey, America!
Using only your wits.
Can you catch a killer?
Using only your wits and what's in this bag, can you catch a killer?
We've released a killer into a suburb of the United States.
All right, I'll check out.
These 7 couples will have to work together.
Honey, what's in the bag? Let's take a look and see what's in the bag. An apple?
An apple.
A razor blade?
Magnifying glass.
A pair of tongs?
I wonder who got the fingerprint powder. Maybe we can trade another couple for the fingerprint powder. And then it cuts to the other couple and they're like, we got the fingerprint powder. We know that everybody's going to try to get this from us. The only thing that we'll trade the fingerprint powder for is murder immunity on next week's episode.
Catch a killer.
I'd watch the hell out of that show.
We should pitch that show.
Could I catch a yawn? Go on.
Do you think that is bullshit? Do you think that the idea of someone yawning and the another person yawning because of the first person yawning is on its face just not true?
No, I think it is true. I think
you do catch a yawn.
I do think it's a sympathetic reaction.
You think it's a sympathetic reaction that requires sympathy and empathy?
Yeah.
Because there are some studies that say that, and there are other studies that say, well, maybe not. But you think that is a form of empathy that I see you yawn, and so my body just involuntarily relates to you.
Because I think there's a reason that it happens more. It happens more in situations when you are surrounded by people you're comfortable with.
Right.
Right. And I think that's I think it's partially a signaling of comfortability.
You know, one of the things that bugs me, and this is going to be a little tangent, but it really, really bugs me.
What really grinds your gears?
This is one of Jeff's annoyances.
Jeff Canada.
Pet peeves.
Drama vlogger. What grinds your gears?
Oh, man. Here we go. It bothers me when I yawn and people comment on it like I'm like, oh, am I keeping you up?
Fuck those people.
I hate that shit.
That's the reverse.
Like I could control that.
That is the reverse of catching a yawn.
Yeah.
That is just being a straight up dick. You want to talk about
it happens all the time. People like you are doing something rude by yawning.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bore you.
Yeah.
And then you have to explain to people why you're tired. You have to.
Or that you did something like ripped a fart in public. Something
And even if you ripped a fart in public, fuck off.
Well, true.
But here's the deal.
But at least you can kind of control that. I can't control my yawn.
Yeah.
I've tried to stop myself from yawning and it hurts.
Even by controlling a yawn, you look like you're controlling a yawn. It's such garbage because it puts you in a position of like, this guy is doing something impolite, which yawning is not impolite.
Right.
And then number 2, it puts you in a position where you have to somehow come up with a reason, an explanation for why you're doing.
I was up late last night.
Good enough explanation.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it better be good for you to yawn.
It so bugs me, man. And it happens all the time. People always do that. I make a point never to do that. And it really bothers me because it's like, listen, I'm having a moment to myself that has nothing to do with you. You know, I could be completely engaged in this conversation and still have to yawn. It has nothing to do with whether I'm interested or bored. It's not that.
Maybe I didn't sleep well. Maybe I did sleep well, but I'm just really tired.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't fucking
matter.
My
brain needs oxygen, for fuck's sake.
It doesn't matter why I'm yawning, asshole. Don't point it out like you're cool. That's the other thing is people who point that out do it so they seem better than you. There's no other reason to point out a yawn. You know what I mean? Like if you yawn during somebody's like discussion or presentation or whatever, they go, "Oh, sorry to bore you," and it's because they feel insecure about the quality of their public speaking.
Right.
And it's like, fuck you, dude. Have a little more self-esteem and don't take your fucking insecurities out on other people in the room. Maybe your shit is boring. Sorry, your shit's boring.
But I don't know.
That's not why I'm yawning.
I don't know
I'm just tired.
Yeah, I've never yawned at someone.
Oh,
right?
I've yawned directly at someone. Sometimes I'll do like the 2 fingers, like a SWAT team. Like, hey man, me, you, you.
Yeah.
And then just yawn.
Just be like,
cartoonishly long. And do like the arms, do like the big cartoon arms. Like, oh boy. Like I'm a Disney princess waking up. Just like, oh jeez. Boy, a little bluebird lands on my finger and I'm just like, and then I let the bluebird yawn.
Wow. That's next level shit.
Yeah. And then me and the bluebird just stare at whoever's giving the presentation. Like, hey, asshole, you did this. It's on you.
But they're the dick for commenting.
Yeah. Don't you dare comment, motherfucker. No, I don't. I've never yawned at somebody.
I just don't even understand.
I've been in a boring meeting, and it's like,
Sure.
look, dude, you just got to have, that's the other thing is like, you just got to be okay with the fact that meetings are boring if you're leading a meeting.
Yeah.
I know everybody wants to believe that like when they're up and talking about something that like, I'm going to do this in a way that's not boring for people. Sorry, dude. 90% of things that are like work related are fucking boring. Doesn't matter.
Everybody, clap your hands. It's time for the sales report. It's time for the sales report.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to give you a sales report.
No, just get through it. Just speed through it.
No, I got like 6 more minutes of the song, and then we're all gonna put on shirts, and we're gonna stand up. Everybody, sales report, gonna show you the sales report.
I have
Tim
from
other accounting, gonna show you the
I have
sales
other
report.
things that I have to do though. We all have jobs. You can't just like
Well, I
take
just
up
want to
time.
make sure that you don't fall asleep during the presentation.
The best way to do that is just get through it as quickly as possible, man. You don't need to jump through all these hoops.
Well, I haven't gotten to the dramatic reading yet of the sales report. I did it in a 3-act play structure. Act 1. This morning, I woke up hoping for good sales. I didn't know I was going to meet the girl of my dreams. Oh, hello. I saw you on the bus this afternoon. Are you going to give the sales?
Hey, Jim.
Yeah?
I apologize for what I said before. This is dope. I want to know what happens. Like, does she notice you? I'm sorry.
Don't wait for the second act twist.
Sorry.
second act
You don't
twist.
have to skip ahead in the slides. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just need to know. This is the best sales report ever.
I want to live our lives together, but unfortunately, I have a rare disease. Oh no, a rare disease.
She has a rare disease, you guys.
Yeah.
But they're meant to be together.
It's called low sales projection.
We've got to save her.
Yeah.
How do we save her, Tim?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that. I'm glad that you asked because we got sales reports to talk about. Got the sales report.
I really do apologize. Maybe that would have been the best meeting. I think look, dude, I will wholeheartedly, 100% concede the point. Yeah, you're way more empathetic than I am. We have 300 and something episodes, I'm sure, that show that you're more empathetic than I am. And I'm sure there's some sort of connection.
It's a
there.
curse, man, because I'm constantly yawning.
I know. You're like Will in Hannibal.
It's not
You're
good.
you're too empathetic.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Have you watched any Hannibal yet?
No.
All right, we're going to cut it off there.
I
then.
interviewed that Mads Mikkelsen, though.
And it was a waste because you've never seen Hannibal.
Yeah, I didn't have any context.
Fucking wasted it.
Yeah. He was a nice fella.
That's how he seems. How do you guys feel about this? Do you think that these results are, I would say, exaggerated, inflated?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to put those words in your mouth. We want to hear what you have to say. You could comment on this story on our subreddit. That's wehaveconcerns.reddit.com. Yeah. You could also tweet at us. I'm at acarboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And hey, y'all, you been to our shop? I'm just going to straight up say go to our shop. I'm not going to dance around it. I'm not going to make it clever. We sell things in the shop that are cool. We use that money to keep doing the show.
Oh.
That's how it works. Do you like shirts? Do you wear shirts? We got them.
They're in our shop.
Go check them out. wehaveconcerns.com/shop. Jeff's a father now. He's got a mouth to feed.
That's right.
Buy a shirt.
The first time I've ever fed a mouth.
Just a mouth. Jeff's son was born with a rare disease that makes him just a disembodied mouth.
Yeah, you should see when he yawns. It's terrifying.
It's very expensive. wehaveconcerns.com/shop.